Hey guys, Dr. Ben here at Functional Medicine Centers. I run the Functional Medicine Center of Fort Collins. We also have Functional Medicine Center of Arizona in Phoenix available for support as well. I love educating, love getting the word out on a lot of different issues. Today I'm going to be talking about something that hits almost everybody. 80% of the United States has some type of insulin resistance. 70% of the people in the United States are overweight or obese. Diabetes is epidemic. Hypoglycemia is very problematic. COVID-19, all of these things that we're looking at leading up to death with COVID-19, the vast majority have to do with blood sugar and have to do with what people are eating. So I'm going to give you 6 things to look for that are telling you that you might have some blood sugar issues going on. And you know what? You might not even know it. You might not even recognize some of these things. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is chronic fungal infections. A lot of people wouldn't think about this, but this is very prevalent. What happens is that we get yeast infections, fungal infections inside people's toenail fungus. Some people, they get chronic yeast infections, whether that's vaginally or that's in urinary tract infections, different things. But we get these chronic fungal infections, and the sugar is what feeds it. So if you've ever brewed beer, brewed kombucha, anything like that, you've got to put some sugar in, and that sugar is going to feed it and feed it and feed it. And so if somebody is getting recurrent or chronic fungal infections, look for blood sugar, number 1. Number 2, infertility or PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I've talked about this a whole bunch before. Hormones are absolutely connected to blood sugar. I've seen 18-year-old females that are 110 pounds get put on metformin. Metformin's a diabetes drug. There's a lot of people of you out there that have been put on metformin for various things, for diabetes, different things. But they will put women on that PCOS, they will put them on metformin without addressing the why. They just say, hey, blood sugar, big old sledgehammer, hammer it with metformin. But we've got to figure out the underlying why. We've got to stabilize that blood sugar, and that's what you need to be able to do to, 1, correct infertility, 2, correct your PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. A lot of women will start getting facial hair, they'll get acne, all types of different issues will come around from this hormonal imbalance caused from blood sugar. Guys, you don't have infertility or PCOS probably, but guys, their testosterone will actually start converting over into estrogen. And that's one of the number 1 things that we see. And you can tell if a guy has blood sugar issues, it's because they're having low testosterone and they're going to the low T center, they're having erectile dysfunction, all types of different things. Another thing that we'll see is the low blood sugar or those hypoglycemia crashes, those afternoon crashes, those times where it's just like, holy cow. Number 1 time we see this is actually at bedtime, and in the middle of the night, people will wake up, their blood sugar crashes, and they get this adrenaline goes through them and their brain's spinning and going. But what we always see is that we call this random anxiety. Random anxiety will just hit at various times, sometimes in the middle of the night, sometimes it's throughout the day. I did a video on this last week talking about that hypoglycemia and that low blood sugar, random anxiety, heart racing, palm sweating, all these things happen, these crashes, absolutely you're having blood sugar imbalances. Fatigue, if somebody's having fatigue throughout the day, especially in the afternoon, why? They have their sandwich, they have their noodles, their rice bowl, whatever it is, that blood sugar spikes up and crashes down. So we've got to be able to stabilize that blood sugar and have that good quality meal. Otherwise, and drop down. If you've ever worked in a cubicle setting, you know the woman I'm talking about, the little old lady that's got her bowl there of Hershey's Kisses, and everybody walks by in the afternoon, grab some chocolate, grab some candy, whatever it is, because they are crashing, their blood sugar's crashing, and they've got to get it stabilized somehow. Some people, they'll drink coffee, some people, they'll drink a Red Bull, whatever. They think it's, oh, I'm just tired, and they try to get caffeine, but that's not it. It's that blood sugar is crashing. And then the one everybody loves, number 5 here, a growing midsection. So people are going to start putting on excess weight in that abdomen, and that is a very good indication that somebody is having blood sugar imbalances. We see a lot of people, sometimes they'll get puffy all over, but a lot of times that growing midsection is a very good indication that your blood sugar is out of balance. I had a guy last week that came in as a new patient, and he said, I've got this pot belly. He was thin all the way, he was in his 60s. He's thin everywhere except in his abdomen. And he was actually brewing in his abdomen, and that's where a lot of that pot belly was coming from. So sugar was feeding the yeast in his abdomen and actually creating this expansion. If you've ever seen somebody brew beer or wine, anything like that, there's this little air release valve, bloop, 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 and otherwise that glass bottle would actually explode. So you've got to be able to make sure that you're releasing the bad stuff and killing off the bad stuff. So the next thing that we look at, number 6, last thing here when we're looking at the top 6 signs that you have blood sugar imbalances, a sweet tooth. So a lot of people are like, oh, I just like chocolate or I like candy or whatever. But really, the more you feed what's going on inside of you, the yeast, the bad stuff, the imbalances, the more you're going to crave it, the more you're going to want it. So we've got to start on multiple levels. We've got to figure out what is jacking with your blood sugar. That's why we use a blood sugar monitor. That's why I wrote my book. That's why we have all of our patients start with that. You've got to figure out why that blood sugar is going up, why it's going down. It's going to be swinging all over the place. And then from there, you eat more of what works, less of what doesn't. And for a lot of people, we actually have to do some kill off. You have to kill off some of the fungus, the yeast, things like that inside the abdomen. And that's going to be why we're having those chronic fungal infections. And then from there, you've got to add in the good stuff. So you can't just take a bunch of probiotics. Most of the time you have to do some kill off and then bring in the good stuff. Otherwise, just probiotics is not going to be enough to bring down the bad stuff. So again, let's review those. Chronic fungal infections, infertility or PCOS in guys, it's going to be that testosterone converting into estrogen, so low T. Any low blood sugar, hypoglycemia at times, that can be that random anxiety, the sweaty palms, the increased heart rate, things like that. Afternoon fatigue, perusing the workspace and finding those little Hershey Kisses, that's probably you. A growing midsection, so your abdomen is getting bigger, you're gaining weight in the midsection, absolutely a sign of blood sugar imbalance. And then the last one, the sweet tooth. Man, you just, after every meal, you got to have something. You got to have that little bit of chocolate. You got to have that little bit of sweet over and over and over. Very good sign that you have blood sugar imbalances. So take back your health. Let us know what questions you have. Mary, what is the name of the book? The Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. You can grab that on Amazon. It's under my last name, Galyard, Galyardt. If you've got any other questions, tons of videos on Facebook, on YouTube, lots of information out there. We go live every couple days, try to get as much information out as we can. Drop us a line if you have any questions, and I'm always available for complimentary consultation. Reach out to our office, 970-282-1173. Hope you guys are having a great day, and take heart some of these 6 signs that your blood sugar may be off. Make it a great day, everybody.